We're good? Okay. Okay, so the long-awaited scrap haul, okay? We've been waiting to get enough scrap to make it worthwhile, making the extra trip distance up to Sarasota. A lot of good things going on. One of them is copper is off the chart. The copper prices are really high, so that's really good. So right now what we're doing is we're getting ready for season. We're already booked out about a month in the season. That means 20 crews booked all the way through the whole month of May. What happens when that happens is they start backing it up. So we've got April is pretty much booked up as well. So starting about the 15th. So if you're watching us and you're one of our regular clients, get a hold of us so we can get you on our schedule, please. And then now what we're doing is we're getting prepared. So we're not going to have time in this next month to go to the scrap yard. We're going to get a tremendous amount of scrap. So what we're doing now is we're getting all cleaned up and getting ready for season. So come back here and check out what we're doing. So this dump trailer, look at what it's full of. It's full of radiators. It's full of the HVAC radiators. These guys, we got a huge amount of Romex wire. There is, if you come back here, Talen's been trying to get us to the point where we're ready. Gentlemen. Hey, you're on live. You guys are on TV. Is that no problem? No? Nobody's got any outstanding warrants or anything, do they? Other than what's up? Am I not supposed to ask that? Huh? No?
Just blur my face out.
So Cameron's little April Fool's joke for me was he told me he was getting arrested because he had an outstanding warrant. And then he walks in the door 1 minute later. It was kind of funny. So anyway, what they're doing right now is everybody's getting ready so we can do this scrap metal run. Go ahead. So that's Talen trying to do more with less because we had a couple guys call out today. So it's making this more challenging for him. So all of this over here, come on over here, take a look at this. So they're getting this tarped up. So that's going to be quite a bit of money. So those are aluminum and copper radiators. Meanwhile, you got stuff like this. This is aluminum wire, which is really not worth the time to strip. So we're just going to take it up this way. All of these cans are stuffed full. They got all of this heavy stuff that they're going to have to get loaded up onto the trucks. And we're doing this as a big group of guys. So meanwhile, let's go over here in this other way. So what they're doing is they got one van that's pretty much full. You want to get up in there and take a look at that. So this one, again, they're packing things tighter than they used to. So we don't know what we're going to get. We don't have no idea what this is going to bring us. But we're getting cleaned up, getting ready for season, like I said before. All right, so these are what compressors look like. These are inside of your outside air handling units. They're also very similar to what you'll see in the bottom of a refrigerator. You know, right here is an axle that came off of a trailer that we did. Now that axle is still in serviceable condition. All this back here is copper wire encased inside of, they use them in like condos and commercial buildings. So the copper wire is actually encased inside of that in case there's a fire. So come on up this way. So these are outside units for, they call them split systems. So this is the same thing. This is an outside unit for, it's actually the inside head for this same one. So this is the inside head for the split unit. That is the outside unit for the split unit. These are, you see the two pipes? So this is basically a complete air conditioning system. Would be the inside and the outside unit put together. A lot of times they're using these for mobile homes. They're called package units. Now this one says this one needs a compressor. So if you wanted to fix this and put a compressor in it, we won't be doing that. This is aluminum, crazy expensive aluminum. what this was used for is probably, these were probably up on top of stands, and these were sitting on top of them. So that's what that, so this is a very heavy duty aluminum. It's extruded aluminum. This is sheet aluminum. And they'll bring this in at like $1.50 a pound if we scrap them. These we'll probably put them up for sale. Lee's over here right now. This is all ferrous metal that we don't have room for right now. That 30-yard dumpster right there, those purple things, are they aluminum? Okay. No, I don't doubt it. They're just not extruded aluminum.
Hey, Ernesto, that stuff's gonna go
they're not
in here.
extruded aluminum though.
Well, no, not
You
the
sure?
tin, not the tin.
I don't want it to clear the load, that's all. Okay. All right, so at any rate, this is aluminum. These are probably exhaust ports to something. All right, so those are aluminum. He's saying they'll be brought in at the same price point. Those right there, those things there, if you see them, those are cast aluminum. This right here, they're bringing all this stuff up. This is extruded aluminum. This motor right here will be brought, this thing will be brought in as cast aluminum. That's the motor off of an ATV or some sort of a motorcycle. Right here, this is the outside unit or the lower unit of a boat. That over there is a boat engine. So watch yourself. So this has that's got sheet on it, and it's also got extruded aluminum. What's up, Joe? How you doing? So this right here, come back up here. We're right in the way. Okay, so right here, this is a 30-yard. This is shreds. It's also called white goods. It's also called, it's just ferrous metal. It's magnetic metal. It's completely full. It's why all this stuff is sitting on the ground, because this is full. They'll run that today. It'll be about $500 worth of metal. Now, right here, this is sheet aluminum. And if it has the, so basically what they did is on one of these units that we're working on, they took off the hurricane shutters and the hurricane doors, and they took off the screen enclosures on something that we're demoing. So right now, instead of throwing all this stuff into the dump, we're taking it and we're scrapping it out. So this is a big scrap metal day for us, and they actually we're getting really, really busy. Now this is a miniature Bobcat. These things, what they do is, what that does is it makes us more efficient. That thing is so small, it'll go in and out of most doorways. If it's a 36-inch doorway, it'll go in and out of it. So over here, okay, so this is something we unloaded off the truck today. This is just a desk that came in, something that came from a junk removal. Now come over here, let me show you something else. Okay, we just looked these up before. 4x8 sheets of this are $56 per sheet. $56 per sheet. How many did we count? I think we had 15 of them. 15 of them. These things would normally get thrown into the dump. Okay, come this way. So meanwhile, back here, this is ground screen that you would put down before you do your landscaping to keep the plants from coming through. This is a big roll of it. This is probably $200 worth of it. Okay, probably what started out as a $500 or $1,000 roll, and this is what's left over. So we get stuff like that all the time. Stuff like that saves you a tremendous amount of money. Now, meanwhile, turn around here and check this out. These are Jeep rims. They're kind of rough, but somebody bought them. So they paid, I don't know what they paid for them, but they got a little bit of tread left on them, but they are Jeep rims. Can they be cleaned up? I don't know, but somebody did buy them. Anything that says Jeep on it, you can sell. All right, come over here and let's check out some of this other stuff you get. Stuff like this, you know, you look at it and it might end up in the dumpster at the end of a job. And instead, we're bringing it back here and we're selling it. So this is gonna save some contractor. He's gonna save him at least $30 a sheet for each one of these. So let's go take a look at over here. So again, this is a screen enclosure, and screen enclosures around little openings in one of these $9 million houses that we're working on right now. We're working on 2 different houses. They're $9 million a piece. Now Talen's out here setting the pace for everybody because he wants to get this scrap metal run done today. So come back here and take a look at this. So this is we get about 10 of these a year, an air compressor. If you look at this is a roll cage off of something. We'll look up what that came off of and we'll put that on eBay. If somebody will come and buy that. Most likely they'll drive over from Miami or from Sarasota or someplace like that to buy that. Save yourselves a bunch of money. Look at this right here. Now this is a door, you see stuff like this all the time. You notice it has the grapes on it. So what typically this is an ornamental door that they put over their wine cellar. And this probably came from either one of those $9 million houses that we're renovating. We're not renovating, we're doing the demo. We work for these high-end guys, we do the demo part of it, we do the heavy lifting. So something like this, normally again, would just get scrapped. You know, we're asking $1,000 for it. This probably cost $5,000 put together, okay? So just different stuff that we're getting. Now, as we go into season, our season starts about April 15th. Our first main month, which is May 1st, we're booked mostly all the way through the month. That's with 20 crews, okay? So we're booked out already. So what happens right now is we're getting ready for season. A lot of our trucks are sitting for a good portion of the year. We're getting them in here, making sure everything's working, putting them into process, making sure they have all the tools on them, so on and so forth. Meanwhile, what we're doing is Talen's bidding these jobs out like crazy. And inside of these, a lot of this stuff that's been here for a long time, I'll give you an example, like this right here. This is something that's really hard to sell, okay? Now, if you ask me why, I'll tell you why. Because they're 8 foot tall, okay? 8 foot tall stuff. People who are remodeling and people who are repurposing, typically they're not having these gigantic buildings, okay? So this kind of stuff ends up in these multi-million-dollar properties. Now, it's not true everywhere because there are some pretty big homes, expansive homes in Cape Coral, and they're not that expensive. And then all the stuff that's in here, a lot of the stuff like this right here, if these are garage cabinets as far as we're concerned, or there's some low-end rental cabinets, stuff like this will end up getting thrown away if we don't sell it shortly. Same thing with this. They're lights, but they're older style of lights. Now, are people still putting them in? Yes, we sold a whole bunch of them, okay? But they're taking up a lot of space and they're selling really slow. So a lot of times stuff like this, we'll open all the boxes up and we'll scrap the aluminum, okay? Now you come back in here, some of this stuff, what happens is we have a date on here of when we bought this. When we put cabinets on, we give you every dimension of everything and call out each and every item that's in the set. Now this is a melamine set. Melamine means that there is plastic that's been melted over the wood. Instead of painting them, they melt plastic over it. So this right here, this tells you the date that we just gave this a price reduction. So what'll happen with something like this, because we only have so much space, we need like a Kmart sized building. We need a huge building. We need a Walmart sized building. We can't afford it. So basically, everything has a certain period of time it can be here. So this cabinet set will start it out at a certain price. We go for 30 days, and at the 30th day, we bring it down 10%, and we bring it down 10% a week until they're gone. Same thing with this. So these are nice, really nice kitchen cabinet sets. They're in very good condition, and this was probably like a wine cellar. So get stuff like this all the time. This is a sliding glass hurricane impact door. This is a wooden set, which makes it worth a different amount of money. There's the tracks. Without the tracks, they're worth nothing because you can't get the tracks. The manufacturers don't want to take the time to figure out what track is right for you because there's no money in it for them. So they won't do it. Now, behind you, these are gigantic hurricane windows. It'll take us a while to sell them, and we actually put them here for a reason. Now, there's about 4 of these that are gone now. Now, these things right here, this and this, in the next month, if it don't sell, we'll get rid of it. So what'll happen is we'll dump the prices on these very shortly, and if they're still here, they're going to get thrown away. Now, this was actually given to the church thrift store, and it was too big for them. They brought it over here. We have room during off season, so we tried to sell it. Now, if you're starting up an office and you just need a conference room, that's a starter conference room set. They're very expensive, even used. So let's go back up into the shop. So what do you think? What else should we talk about? What would you like to know? What's interesting to you? What would you like to know? Where are you watching this?
Officially taking questions.
So,
Let's show them the coolest things we have, the most unique things.
okay, so right here, this is a flagpole. You know, you just stick it back together. So this has actually got Talen's name on it, so he's going to put a flagpole in the front of his house. He's remodeling his house right now. Okay, so this is a mini power amplifier locking cabinet. Okay, this is an antique. What do you call that? A high chair?
A high chair, yeah.
An antique high chair. You know, it's a shame that we get stuff like this because in the right place, this is going to sell for a lot more money, and it'll definitely sell. Eventually, what'll happen a lot of times with this stuff is we end up throwing it away because there's not a market for antiques here, at least where we're at. This right here, antique sewing machine, I think we showed you that last week. We got a crib here. Then we get all kinds of stuff. These garage door, in the garages of houses, when we do junk removals, there's all kinds of stuff on the shelves. A lot of times that stuff that's on the shelves is worth some money. So this is a GNC alternator that was in somebody's house. A lot of times they'll buy something like that and then they don't install it and they just keep it because they just don't want to throw it away because they spent $150 on it. This is a pool pump. This was on eBay. It didn't sell and it got down to a certain price, so we're going to try to sell it here before it ends up in the scrap pile. Most likely that'll end up in the scrap pile. Same thing with nail guns. We get a lot of nail guns.
So tell them about the scrap situation today, what the plan is or was.
Okay, the scrap situation today is Talon had an extra obstacle today because he had a couple guys call out. So, and when he has a couple guys call out, he says that to me, that's code for 2 of my crew leaders are sick or something like that. So we were talking about doing this scrap run, basically getting ready because, you know, here we are in the middle of April. April 15th, our preseason stuff starts and it's foot on the floor. We can't keep up for all the way through. It'll either be all the way through August or all the way through October. It just depends. Every year it's different. So what's going on right now is we're rushing and getting everything put on all these trucks. Then we're going to go up as a group because we're filming, and we're going to go through the scrap yard, and we're going to do a couple things today. We're going to actually do a live at the scrap yard. This live, we're going to end it here, and we're going to pick it right back up. We're going to pick it right back up when we get up there, and we're going to walk you through what we're doing at the scrap yard. Then, in about 2 weeks later, we're going to go ahead and we're going to edit this and put it out as a scrapyard video. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to walk through. I talked to the scrapyard about this. We're going to walk through and we're going to go through each bin. Now I know a lot about scrap, but I don't know anything about scrap compared to what the guys that do it every day know. And we're going to go through with them, and we talked about them. Hopefully they're not super crazy busy, and they're going to walk through each different bin, and they're going to tell us what it is, what's the street name for it, what the official name for it, what it's going for, and what makes it clean or dirty. We're going to do that with about 50 of these bins.
So if you're chomping for some scrap, stay tuned.
So if you're trying, we have a lot of people asking us about scrap metal videos. So finally, we're back to putting one out, and then as soon as we get into season, it'll be probably about every 3 weeks, all the way through season, because we're going to have so much scrap metal here. It's going to be mind blowing. So let's go and check out and see what else we got that's kind of new. So, you know, like I said, we do junk removals all the way through building demolition. So we get all kinds of crazy stuff. So this is a padded jacket for when you're out doing dirt bike stuff. So you just never know what we're going to get. This is a bus mirror. Okay, we've gotten a lot of those over the years. These are big, long screens for windows.
So are we going to the scrapyard today? Or
We're pretty sure we are. Yes, we are.
And we're gonna screen it.
Okay, these are called Schluter sticks. These Schluter sticks are like $15 a piece. Okay, what's a Schluter stick? It goes on the end of your tile. It makes your edge of your tile look nice and controlled and under control. And it's beautiful. Now, what are these? Check these out. These are vanity. These are vanity bowls for a high-end house. So you look at them, oh, underneath them, they're actually rock. They're very heavy. By the way, oh my God, we're asking $199 for them. Those were probably $500 a piece when they were put in. This is a nice little wine rack, came out of one of these high-end houses. These are, they're component cabinets for a lot of these houses, these $9 and $10 million houses. They will have built-in systems all through their house, both for their electric, for their lighting, and for their sound systems, and they'll have those in their houses. This is a vanity, or it's a pantry cabinet. A lot of these pantry cabinets we get, they're really big, so they work really good in a garage. They don't work so well in a house because they're too tall. This is an 8-foot thing. When you got 8-foot things, they typically don't go into normal houses. It's amazing how many people really like this kind of stuff, but we get these kind of boxes all the time. We just sell them for a couple bucks a piece. I was watching a junk removal video yesterday, and they were throwing these away, and they threw away like 400 of them. And I thought to myself, you have no idea that you just threw away like $1,500 worth of stuff. And people like these because they look really good on shelves, bookshelves, and stuff like that. And they're expensive looking and cool, and there's definitely a market for them. So, Sepio! What's up, young man? So another really cool thing. We just sold one of these, and we just got another one in. So this is from back when I was a kid. So this is the world as it was, you know, in
USSR
1980 and.
Old-fashioned Google Maps.
Yeah, let's see. Does it have the USSR?
Yeah, as we can tell, it's old.
Yep.
Yeah, so
There you go. Soviet Socialistic Republic.
Yeah, so you know it's over 23 years old.
So this is probably 50 years old if you look it up.
Now, Dave, is this your workshop over there, or are those just tools you guys have for sale as well?
No, that's the mechanics area. We change out anywhere from 2 tires to 10 tires a day.
Yeah.
So this is one of our videos playing in our warehouse. This is right after one of the storms. I'm running around, that's mud all over my Jeep. All right, so let's go back here and check out what's going on over here. So a lot of nice vanities here. This is a whole different set of vanities. There were 10 different vanities here about 2 weeks ago. They're all different now. This is kind of unique. So we're asking $1,200 for that. This is very unique. These are current colors, and this is kind of a high quality set. It's got the metal drawers to it. It's got the soft close on it. Up here, if you come to our warehouse, you want to buy some of our shirts, we got some pretty cool logos. That's up there. We've also got stickers for sale and also keychains.
That's a cool door back there, too. Hey, where's that door lead?
That is the stairway to heaven.
Yeah.
No, that's a door. We closed it off from the other side. So what happened here about when we bought the building, somebody had built mezzanines in here. The fire department came in a couple years ago and said you have to remove them. So we had to remove, there was a mezzanine all the way across this whole area.
Is that just a walkway? A mezzanine?
Yeah, it's just a play. Well, what they did, there was a boat, Marina Mike's was in here for like 30 years, okay? And they went down the street and they went down on 41. We bought the building from them, and what they did is they stored motors up there.
Oh.
They used a forklift and stored motors up there. Well, they made us remove this and make it so you couldn't walk out onto it because they didn't want it in here because there was not enough headroom, okay? So they also made us put in these doors. Our doors are open all day long, every day, and they made us put in man doors, exits, in case somebody's in here. Let me show you another thing. I don't know if I've showed this to you before, but this is a spoondelier. Okay, we looked these up online and there's quite a following for them, and they're very expensive. We're asking $349 for this. I believe these were like $1,000. So somebody actually made this, and these are all different types of spoons.
Are they real silver?
I don't know if they're real silver or not. So at any rate, pretty cool. Something very unusual. I can't believe we still have it. People like stuff like that for conversation pieces for their house. This is another setup here. This would probably going to be on the outside of one of these wine cabinets in one of these high-end houses that we're working on. So it's kind of cool. You see the little gizmo here. Stuff like this, again, takes a right buyer for it. We do get those people here. So this is very unique as well. So we're asking $40 for that. Wouldn't want to have to clean that every 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. So let's see what else we got. What's up, Mr. Godoy? All right, so what else? So we got this big sign here. This is kind of interesting. Don't know where that came from. Ocean Alley, and then Seafood Beach and Beach Bar. So this was, I guess maybe either they updated their signs or it's a failed restaurant. So Ocean Alley, and then down here it says Seafood and Beach Bar. This right here is the inside of a pool pump, or a hot tub rather. This is the thing that blows the air. This is the the power supply for it. This kind of stuff sells really good on eBay if you want to take the time to do it. We just hired a new eBay person, so we'll see how they're doing long term. That came from one of our, from that Airbnb we bought. This thing's still available. We got about 25 kitchen cabinet sets right now. We're starting to get some nicer kitchen cabinet sets, or I should say updated ones. When we go into season, so most of the buildings that we work on, they have what they call a moratorium on them during season. Okay, now there's 2 seasons. Our season starts here about April 15th. The season that I'm talking about is the tourist season. It's the winter season for everybody else. So what happens is all these people come down and they do their thing, and they say, okay, I want to get my unit remodeled this year. So those buildings are not allowed to be worked on until May 1st. Now what happens a lot of times is people leave early in groves. They leave early because of different things like Easter's earlier this year or later this year or whatever. So you can see in the traffic patterns, if you live here, you can see that a lot of people have left early this year. So maybe the winter was milder or something like that, or maybe they had a bad winter and then it got easier. I don't know. But they do it in a group. It's kind of weird. So what will happen is the minute that they leave, the contractors are foot on the floor. They got to get these things demoed so they can start putting them back together. They literally, in Florida, everything takes so much longer. Every trade has its own time frame. So let's say you're the guy doing the framing. Well, you do the framing, and then as soon as you're done, they're scheduling in the guy to put the drywall in, you know, or I'm sorry, the electricity in, and then the plumber. And every one of these guys have a really tight schedule. So if somebody gets them off their schedule, now they got to try to fit it back in, and everybody's schedules are overloaded. So what happens is these guys are trying to get a year's worth of work done in 6 months in a marketplace where it's very difficult to get that done. And these high rises, what will happen if you get done and you're only 3/4 of the way done, the high rise just says, sorry, you're gonna have to wait till next year to finish up your project. So now you're sneaking, or you're pissing off your condominium association, or you're waiting your year, whichever you choose. So that's what happens. So, hey, we got anything super crazy, neat, and different, Lee? You have anything weird happen this week?
No.
No?
No, not
No
this
weirdness.
week.
No weirdness this week?
Not yet.
No?
It's Friday's the weird day.
Oh, is it? Yeah. What happened here, man? Did your wife
Hey,
smack you?
hey, easy.
Did
I was born with that. It's my only mark that I was born with.
No kidding.
It's my birthmark. Jesus.
Damn. I had no idea. I've never seen it before.
It's sometimes
I've never examined you to this degree.
when I'm exerting myself, this shows up.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes.
So for me, my whole body gets red when I exert myself.
It's one little spot for me.
Yeah. So you're doing better than I am
Well, so far.
so far.
So far.
All right. Well, you seem like you're en route, so
Oh yes. Always something. We got a meeting here in a couple minutes, no?
yeah, we got our meeting. So let's go across the street for a second. So all of our trucks, we store a lot of our trucks down the street. So all of our trucks are over here now. So we have about 10 or 15 of our trucks that we don't use. We got about 30 box trucks right now, and a lot of them, they end up being stored until we need them. So we're using the newer, fresher looking ones, and then during season we use all of them. So if you could look over here, you could see that we have a lot more vehicles here. Plus this is meeting day, so everybody's here, nobody's left early to go up to Sarasota or anything, and we're gonna have our meeting. If you turn around here, and you can see more of our trucks. There's one here, there's one in there, and there's a couple inside the fence. There's some on the other side. So we also, the junk removal book I've been talking about, I'm going back and forth with these guys getting the cover finished up. They seem to be going slower than I want them to. And then the basic course and the mastery course on how to do junk removal and build wealth kind of the way we have done it. Those are on the site now, and if you want to look into that, those are available. We also have merchandise on. We finally got our merchandise set up, and also our membership site. So it's just a tremendous amount of work running the company, and then also doing all the other stuff that we're doing on YouTube. So all these trucks, every one of them will be out and about once season starts. You might say, well, why do you have 30 and we're gonna run like 25 crews. Why do you have 30 vans? Well, so we can rotate them when they're breaking and stuff like that. So, and then it's honestly, a couple of these probably need to be cycled out. They're just not as pretty as we want them to be. So anyway, we're gonna end this right now, and we're gonna pick it right back up in about 2 hours when we get up there to Sarasota and we start our scrap metal, whatever we're doing.